everyone, we are from Group 2 and today we will tell you about one of the most famous stories in this world. And the title of this story is Cinderella. So let's start this story with Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, lived an amazingly beautiful girl. Her name was Cinderella. Her mother passed away a very long time ago. So her father brought her up with care and love. One day, when Cinderella's father remarried, her life changed dramatically. Her father's new wife and two stepsisters had moved to Cinderella's house. She and her two daughters were extremely jealous of Cinderella's beauty and kind heart. One day, due to work reasons, Cinderella's father had to leave on a long journey, and that was the time when Cinderella's stepmother and stepsister turned her life into a living hell. Her stepmother asked her to live in the attic and do all the housework. One day, in the city, an announcement was made by the kingdom. Our prince will hold the ball in the castle. All the girls who are eligible for marriage are invited to this party, and Cinderella too.
Finally, the big day had arrived. The stepsister asked her to help them get ready for the ball. Cinderella asked her mother if she wants to come to the ball too. "Can I come to the ball too, please?" "Who you? Come on, girls!" Her stepmother and her stepsister made their way to the castle. Right at the moment, a very bright light appeared. A beautiful fairy appeared in the middle of the light. "Don't worry, I'm here to help you. Now bring me a pumpkin and 7 mice." First, she went to the kitchen and grabbed a big pumpkin. Then she went to the attic, got home, Miss Friends. With her magic wand, the fairy turned the pumpkin into a beautiful horse carriage, then 7 mice into a driver and beautiful white horses. After that, Cinderella's old dress turned into a beautiful ball gown, and the slippers on her feet turned into a beautiful glass shoes. The fairy said to the Cinderella, "Cinderella must be home when the clock strikes 12, because by then everything will turn back to what they were." Cinderella listened to the fairy very carefully. Then she hopped on her carriage and started to ride towards the castle. When Cinderella entered through the grand doors to the ballrooms, all the eyes were on her. She looked so beautiful and elegant. Suddenly, the prince appeared on the stairs. Cinderella really stood out among all the young women at the ball. The prince fell in love at the first sight of this beautiful young woman.
The prince stopped in front of Cinderella. Then he asked, "Most beautiful young lady, would you please allow this dance to me?" Cinderella nodded politely. The prince and Cinderella began to dance. They danced non-stop all night long. Of course, Cinderella could not feel how time had passed. It was almost midnight. Right at that moment, Cinderella remembered the fairy's warning. "You must be home when the clock strikes 12 o'clock, because by then everything will turn back to what they were." With a panic, Cinderella was running down the stairs of the castle and dropped one of her shoes. But she did not even have time to go back and collect it. The clock struck midnight, and everything turned back to what they were before. When the prince went out after her, he spotted her shoe on the stairs. Then he said to the guard, "Find the owner of this shoe, even if you have to get all the girls in the kingdom to try it. Just find her." The prince's men went door to door to every house in the kingdom and looked for the young girl who owned this shoe. But the shoe did not fit any of these girls.
In the end, the prince came by Cinderella's house. Cinderella was very happy to see the king's carriage in the front of the house. Right when she was about to leave her room, her stepmother appeared at the door. With a sarcastic look, the stepmother locked the door to the attic. The man first let the old skinny sister try the shoe, but it was too small for her feet. Look how beautiful it fit my foot. Then the younger chubby sister tried the shoe, but the chubby foot did not even get in the shoe. Maybe if we had tried it on my other foot, whatever they did it just would not work. Finally, Cinderella's last try was to run to the window, but it was too high, so she began crying. Seeing her crying, her mice friend came next to her. One of the mice slipped underneath wet as the door with the princeman. Cinderella was very happy when she saw the key. Opening the door, she ran down as fast as she could. When Cinderella tried the shoes on, everybody was in shock because it fit her perfectly. Young lady, are you the owner of this shoe? Cinderella needed to confirm. Cinderella went to the castle with the princeman, and they took her in front of the prince. Right, when he looked in her eyes, the prince knew it was her who danced with him that night. He held her hands. I finally found you, my princess. Will you marry me? With teary eyes from happiness, except the prince offered. They got married and lived happily ever after.